and today we're going to talk websites, which in this current situation, the word pivot, we've just been chatting about this, seems to be the word at the moment. And if you haven't got your retail business online, we're going to chat all about how easy it is to do it. So hi, Catherine, welcome.
Hello. Nice to be here.
I just said to her, "You ready to go live?" She said, "Are we ever ready to go live?" And so, yeah, people who go live all the time, we're always a little bit nervous and thinking, "Oh gosh, how's it going to go? Is anyone going to join us? What's happening?" And Facebook takes a little while to sort of reach out and tell people you're live anyway. So sometimes you can be talking to yourselves for a little bit. But yeah, so
will you be able to see questions up the side here, or?
Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, so if you've got questions when you're joining us, mainly we're going to talk about how easy it is to set up to go online with a WordPress site, but we are going to talk about a lot of tips and things about images and copy and SEO that will apply if you have a website on a different platform. I know there's quite a lot of people use Shopify, there's Wix, there's Big Cartel, so there's a lot of stuff that we'll talk about that we can, you can utilize on your own web, if you're on a different platform. But yeah, the main purpose of this today was that we kind of touched base together and thought, with a lot of shops having to shut because you're not an essential, if you're not already online, now is the time to sort of focus on it and tick that off the list. It's probably been on the list for a while, and hopefully Catherine's going to convince us all that it's easier than we think.
Yeah. Surprisingly easy.
Tell us about your background, because you are a techie whiz, unlike most of us.
Yeah, I am a geek. Yeah, it's traditional geek. But I'm a bit of a mixture. I'm an arty-farty sort as well. So I'm a designer and I do branding, illustration, but then I also do the techie stuff. So I like to get a bit stuck into code, and it's embarrassing really. But no, I like how I've got my arty side where it's very creative. It's very let's see how it goes. Let's see where we go with it. Whereas the techie side is very much like doing a little puzzle, and I find that quite relaxing because you can it's always the same, and you always get the same results, and you go through a process. And yeah, so I like both of those sides. So yeah, I tend to do help people go from nothing, so do all their branding, make them look gorgeous, and then put it onto a platform, a website, a shop. So yeah, I'm just really bossy. I like the whole thing. Like this, and you will be here, and it will be wonderful. That's the big
sometimes we need a bossy person in our lives to sort of give us the kick up the backside to go online. Or if you're already online, I think a lot of retailers who've got shops, a physical shop, tend to not prioritize the online side of things because they're trading day to day in their shop. But obviously situations like this mean, oh my goodness, what am I going to do if I've had to close my shop? Or what I need to be online to have that other option, so that I'm selling stuff when I'm after 5 o'clock, when the shop is closed. But it can be a big, people do think it's a big step, don't they, and think that it's really difficult to do. But you're going to tell us that it's not that difficult, aren't you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's an either or. So you're either a bricks and mortar shop or you're an online shop, unless you're the big guys. But that's not actually the case. You can have a little online shop. It can support the stuff you're doing face to face, and it doesn't have to be this one-off, let's just get it done now. It can really support your business going forwards, and it needn't be something that you just do now. It can really support you, and it can also bring people in. So there's a different way that you market with online stuff that can get new people into your shop, that can get new people buying from you or buying from you in a different way. And it can really support what you've already got. So yes, we're all talking pivots and doing it differently, but it's actually just an extension of what you've already got, and it will enable you to be more flexible. And we don't know how long this stuff's going to go on for, or whether we're going to return to doing it the way we've done it and then go back to being in isolation. So we don't know whether it's going to be this in-out sort of thing.
Yeah.
So both of those things working together is a really good thing to set up now.
Yeah. And how
that's it.
How long would you say it takes to set up a simple e-commerce website from scratch? Is it a day's work or a week's work, or?
What I suggest is you get everything together before you start, because there is nothing worse than being confronted with a blank screen going, I've got to write something. Hate that. I'm not a writer. So yes, I do tend to prepare things beforehand, but having some images of your products, deciding what pages you're going to have on there, what products, what categories you're going to have on there, and really getting it in your mind how you're going to map out your website, map out your online shop, just as you would, where are your shelves going to go in your actual physical shop?
Yeah.
Where are you going to, where are you going to put your products? How are they going? What products are going to sit next to? It's just in the same way. Get a little plan together. It doesn't have to be anything much. You can just scribble in your notebook. Actually, that's what I do. Is I scribble in my notebook. So yeah, I'm going to have these pages, these categories, these products, and then gather everything together for them. So you've got your pictures, you've got your you know what your categories are, what the titles are, you know what your pages are. You've got your logo. If you haven't got a logo, you can actually write your shop name at the top. That's absolutely fine, just to get going.
Yeah.
Knowing what sort of colours you're going to use, just have a little list. So you've got all those things there to support you setting it up. And that way, when you come through to do it, you can just go through bang, 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 and you've got everything there to do it. And I've just re-recorded my best-selling How to Build an Online Shop class, and that takes you through from the very start, so setting up your domain name and your hosting, through to finishing off with all your products. And that was with a lot of, what if I did it this colour and that colour, and wafting around, because I'm a designer and I do that, and it has looked and that took me just under 4 hours, but that was from start to finish. And taking you through the whole process. So yeah, you can very well do it in a day, but having an idea of what you need first, the product descriptions, that sort of thing. And yes, you can go back and you can do it. But having at least the pages, at least the categories, a few products to put in there in each separate category, and that'll give you a really good base to start off building your shop, and stop you just staring at the screen and going, I've now got to think about what I need to put here or there and everywhere, because you have a really good focus on where you're going with it.
So when you say pages, do you mean like obviously your product pages, and then what other sort of if you were going across the top, what other sort of headers would you have? So like delivery information, about us, a landing page.
Yeah, always have an about us. Very important. People like to buy from people.
Yeah,
as they always say. So a bit of information about why you do what you do, why they should buy from you, how you are different.
Yeah.
A bit of your passion for your shop. And facts, that's a really good one. So frequently asked questions. People do tend to ask the same questions over and over again, whether online or offline. So yeah, having a handy page, that can be a really good one. if you think of your category pages, so you're separating up, say you've got a bakery and you're separating up into cakes and breads and chocolatey treats.
Yeah.
I don't always choose bakery, it makes me hungry. Having an idea of those as pages that you can send people to, and then they can get the information on that, and just grouping those sorts of subjects together in your head so it's not just a raft of products, that can really help. And also terms and conditions, that's an incredibly boring but necessary page. And privacy page, which WordPress actually helps you set up. It's got a little tick box which just creates a page and sort of starts you off on the sorts of things you want on there. But that will say things like, we use cookies and we keep data for so long and you can contact us by. So that's an incredibly important page. And your contact details.
Right, yeah.
Contact details are one of the things people look for the most, and one of the things that people forget to put on. Even if you're selling on the website, people need to know, how to contact you. If you've got a contact page, brilliant. If you just want a phone number, and make it, if you want people to call you, make it really good, really obvious and at the top, so people they don't have to search for things. People don't like to search for things, they like to see things. So yeah, contact details. Having a map on there and your address is a really good thing, particularly for SEO.
Yeah.
Because the Google search will pick up on that, and it really boosts where you are and what people are going to see when they search in your area. So yeah, mapping is a very good one as well.
If your website is in addition to a bricks and mortar shop, I always say, it's on Facebook pages and on websites that, you should put a picture of your shop on there as well, because, you're not only trying to get online sales, but also you could be encouraging people to come and visit you at your shop.
Yeah. And the website I build in the class actually has it's a fake shop, but I have included a picture of it, and quite a few pictures of it actually. So yes, it's giving that feel as if people were walking into your shop, and it's the same. It's just an online version, and you want people to feel part of your shop when they go in, whether it's online or offline. So yeah, having some really good pictures on the front page can be really good, because this is your shop. You want to welcome people in, and also your About Us page, maybe some pictures of you working, of how, if you create your own products, that could be a really good place to put that. And also it feeds through from your social media. So you'd have pictures of you working on there, of things in your shop, of your shop. And then so people know they've come to the right place. Just as they would when they're walking down the high street.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a very good point, very good thing to have on there. So one of the things you can collect together. Just create the atmosphere as well. Because you put so much effort into making your shop look lovely. Use that on your websites. Absolutely.
I think it's got to come across. It's got to, you want to try and create the same vibe that you're creating in your shop, on your social media, and then in your website as well. So if if you sell kind of crystals and lots of healing stuff and things, then your colors and the font that you choose, things like that, and all your images need to sort of follow through. If you had a very bright green crazy website, it doesn't fit in with the sort of atmosphere of your main business. You want it to all follow through and be part of the same brand, don't you?
Yeah, and that's why it's a bit of a longer class than you normally get with a techie thing, where it's just do this, do that, do the other. I've chosen a theme which is free to make it easy for people to get to, but it's a very flexible one. So you can add your colours as the way you want it to look, or you need it to look, so that you can get that consistency through.
Yeah.
What you can find, particularly if you have templates from WordPress does a lot of templated themes, and Shopify and Wix, they all do templates. But what you can get is a bit stuck in how the template looks, and then you're just trying to sort of replicate somebody else's idea of a shop, and it might not necessarily reflect that feeling that you get from your actual shop and from your social media. And what you want is that consistency all the way through,
Right.
Which you can do, your colours, the way you've laid things out. So for example, if you were to go into one of those posh shops, you go in and there's like nothing there.
Yeah.
and it's all wood floors and like 2 things on a hanger, and you're like, oh, I don't belong. But you don't want people to arrive on your website and that's the sort of theme that you've chosen, and to think, I don't belong here. This isn't where I thought I'd be when I was reading all those lovely, quirky, welcoming messages on social media, and I've come to the shop and I'm like, I'm a bit embarrassed. Who do I talk to? So it needs to have the same feel. By using colours and layouts, fonts, pictures, you can really create that consistency through.
Yeah. And what are your tips on any images really? Should we, for product images, should we always be choosing the same size and the same sort of look and feel of the way our products are photographed? And what else do we need to do with our images really to make sure that we're kind of maximising the SEO opportunities?
Yeah. With the images, yes, I do suggest that you make them the same size. So when you're doing your photography, either yourself or, it's amazing the things you can do with cameras these days, to be honest. Then having a similar sort of background or laying them out nicely, but you'll be used to doing that in your shop. It's no different. Just imagine how people are looking at it. Get some good lighting. Lighting is really important. If your images are looking a bit, they're all looking a bit odd, you can use a filter. We use them on social media all the time, but a filter can make them sort of have that same look across different products. So there are a number of things you can do, and these days you can actually do it if you need to with your phone. Or maybe go around your shop and you've already got them displayed in a gorgeous way. So do that. I then make the same size by, if you've used canva.com, absolutely brilliant, easy to use, mostly free. And you can just create a little size, so 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. You could do custom dimensions. I find squares really easy because that tends to work across all different sorts of pages. Pop your image onto the square and recenter it, and then everything will be the same size, and then download it. And my next top image tip is squish it, because it's really important to keep the speed of your website really, really quick. And having huge images is going to really scupper that. So what you need to do is upload all your images to somewhere like, I use tinypng.com.
Okay.
It's free. You just upload the image. It will squish it down, but the image will still look good, which is the key. And then you can download that, and that's the image you upload to your website, because it can cut out about 75% of data in your images that you just don't need. It's amazing what is saved when you save a photograph that you don't need to look at when you look at it. So it'll squish all that out, which will stop your website being horribly slow when you upload it. The other top tip for images is, when you do upload them to your website, is make sure that you use the alt image text.
Yeah.
So basically, a Google search can't see images,
Right,
because they're but they can see your words. So you have to describe all your images using some of your keywords, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and key phrases, so that Google knows what that image is of. It will boost your keywords for that product. So when people are searching for healing crystals, for example, it will show, Google will say, well, I know that this page is really good. This product's all about what they're searching for. And that's how you get it included. So always make sure for each image that you're including some alternate text for the search engines.
If you've got say 3 images for the same product, so just sort of taken from different angles, should your alt text be different for each one?
Slightly different, yes, but you can just describe it. So from the left-hand side is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Google will, if it's searching for helpful information, if you have exactly the same again and again and again, that will flag it up as that's a bit iffy. So yeah, just slightly different is fine. So yeah, from the left-hand side,
Yeah.
Healing crystal from the left-hand side, or healing crystal for the right-hand side.
Yeah.
It's just a description, and then Google knows that you're being really helpful, and that's all it wants to know, really.
Cool, that's good.
Yeah, in all of these online shop builders, you can have a gallery of images. So include as many images as you can, because people like to know what they're buying.
Yeah, yeah. So on to descriptions then that goes with the products. Would you say there's a minimum or maximum length that you should do your description? And I know that, you know, I always advise people not to copy the description that the supplier gives, because everybody else will do the same. So you've got to make sure yours is a little bit different. What would you suggest about descriptions?
I would suggest don't force yourself to write it to write too much if it's not helpful. So when you're writing anything for the internet, your main task is to be as helpful as possible. So if you're just aiming for a certain word count, that can be a bit that's not helpful, because then you're just doing it to get to a certain amount of words. Writing something that people will get proper information from, that they'd want to know, that will help you sell it. That's the most important thing to have on your mind when you're writing a product description. And if you're into search engine optimization, SEO, and you've looked up some keywords and you know what people are looking for when they're looking for your particular product, then you can include those to be helpful again in your description. And really that's the best tip, because people can get really hung up on, well, I've got to write so many words, or I've got to include so many keywords, and then it just ends up being very difficult and not being as helpful as it could be. What it's for, really, that's what the product description is for.
And how do we find out what are the keywords? Is there a tool that we can use, or do you just sort of assume that if you sell crystals that people are looking crystals as a keyword, or is there some what would you suggest?
No, there's some really easy ways you can do this. Yes, there are loads of tools, and some of them are hideously expensive. And you can go on and on and on with SEO, but there's one really easy you can do it. If you type into Google what you think people would search for to get to your product, so say you were selling healing crystals, type in healing crystals, and Google will come up with, just see, I can never remember what they call it. Can you still hear me? Because I've changed my screen. Okay, good. Okay, so if you type in what you think people would type into Google, and Google will also come up on the search page with people also ask. And
right.
here, do healing crystals really work? Which crystal is best for healing? What do you do with? How much? And then at the bottom, if you scroll all the way down on the first page, you'll have searches related to.
Okay.
So healing crystals necklace, and then you can go down the rabbit hole. So if I click on one of those, so healing crystals necklace, and then you'll get more ideas from searches related to, and it only shows you what people are actually searching for. So you might get some different words in there. You might get different key phrases. You might get ideas for blogs. You might get ideas for other products that would go alongside your main products, or products you could link together because people are searching for them together. Yeah, and just go down that rabbit hole, get some ideas, get them together. Another tool you can use, now I always forget what these things are called until I'm using them, is it that one? Keywords, I can't remember which one it is. Keywords Everywhere. Yeah, I think it's that one.
Someone just commented and said Google have a free tool. Just Google.
They do, yes. Sometimes you can get in, you have to create an account, and it's their keywords. What's it called? They do it for their ads, basically. But yes, you can. It's their Google one. You have to sign up for a Google Ads account, and then you can get to their keyword search, and this will give you the same sorts of information. But they kind of hide the free version sometimes as well, so, and they keep changing it. So, but yeah, that can be really handy. Yes, so if you look for Keywords Everywhere, and it just attaches to your Google Chrome as a little extra app. And then when you're searching for your keywords, it just tells you the volume of people that are searching for that per month. So Healing Crystals Necklace has 50 searches per month, apparently. Right. So you can just see what sort of things people are searching for. It'll also come up with some related keywords. So here I've got chakra stones necklace, healing crystal earrings, healing crystal necklace meaning. So and a huge list of people's what people are searching for, and then what the volumes are. So this is how many people are searching for them per month. So yeah, that's a really good one, really easy to get hold of, and you can just use it on your Google, on Chrome.
And then what would you do? Sort of start to compile, I don't know, a spreadsheet or something, just to remind you of all the and weave those kind of words and phrases into the product descriptions and your landing page and things like that.
Yeah. For your main pages, like your landing page, tend to focus on just one key phrase, because the keyword is not necessarily a one word, it can be a key phrase, and the more words you have in your phrase, the better. Okay. Because that makes it more accurate. So you're really answering that question that people have asked when they're landing on your website.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just copy and paste the key phrase with the search per month into a spreadsheet, and then go from there, really. Yeah. But I then assign per page or product or category with a certain key phrase, and just focus on one for that. So yeah, so you can see how to build that up into your description and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, when people say SEO, it just, it sort of instills a lot of panic in people, because you think, oh my gosh, what is it? What, but actually it's sort of a whole process, isn't it? And it's never done, because you're always loading new products on. So it goes with retailers, because we are putting new content all the time, as in products, is is rich with your keywords, and you're putting lots of new images on there all the time. So it's important to get it right from the start, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And to just have an idea, if you do the search, again, getting all your things together before you start, if you get together some key phrases, you know what people are searching for online. But don't get scared about it, because it doesn't have to be scary. Just have in your mind to be as helpful as you can be with what you're writing anywhere on your website. And you can't really go wrong with that, because that's what Google is searching for. It's looking for helpful answers for what people are typing in.
Right.
So yeah, start off with what you think people will be typing in, learn what people are actually typing in, and then be helpful.
Yeah.
that's all you need to do. That's all you need to worry about, really. I use WordPress, so I use Yoast SEO, which is included in my class, obviously, because everything is. And that it just tells you where you are with SEO. So you choose your key phrase from what I've just discussed, you pop it in there, and it tells you, how Google would rank you, because you've used it so many times in so many areas for headings, which it likes. How your page is laid out, so it's easy to read. Again, being helpful, just get your customer eyes on. Is this helpful? Can I see things I need to see? And that's what Google's looking for, as well as being a speedy website. So no slow websites.
Cool. One other question about about techie stuff. When you are creating a page, and then you've got that I've forgotten what it's called, the sort of little shorter description that comes up on Google searches. Forgotten what it's called.
And the
meta description, yeah.
Techie, doesn't it?
Is that what I think? What most websites do is it just defaults to whatever the first so many characters is on your own description. So is that okay to do, or should you rewrite that so it's a little bit different, and as that, making sure it contains some keywords and keeping it to the whatever it is, 320 characters or something?
No, it is important to rewrite that. And again, that's what Yoast allows you to do really easily, is you can add your meta title. So it's basically a little advert for that particular product or page or post. So yes, you can add your title and your description, and add in your SEO as well. And another good thing to do is to control what Facebook is posting as well. So if you link a product into your Facebook and it comes up with something bizarre, a picture that's like, why did it ever choose that picture? You can actually control what it shows for each product and each post and each page,
right,
and rewrite the description for that, and the title. So it's like different adverts for different places. Fab. I've got a question here. Are you using a free Yoast plugin or what? Yes, I'm using the free version. I only use free ones.
I was going to say, your little class is, everything in it is free, isn't it? All the tools are free, other than hosting.
Yeah, just the hosting and domain name, which I was looking it up actually for somebody who wanted to buy it, and she was obviously concerned, because I think she's had real trouble with what's happening at the moment. And so I looked up Bluehost, which is one of the cheaper ones. It's big as a hosting, but you can have I think it was £46 for a year, and that included the domain name. So that would be your only sort of outlay, because I use WordPress is free. WooCommerce plugin, which is the shop plugin, is free. I use a free theme. All the plugins are free. So I just want to do that to make it a really easy in for people. And it is perfectly possible to create a lovely website using the free stuff. It's just knowing how really and how.
On your course, it's a video, isn't it? And it's step by step, so you could do a little bit, pause it, and then pick it, do that, and then pick up at the next part, can't you?
Yeah, it's set into chapters, so you can, if you need to go back at any point, you can go back to a particular chapter, because it's quite a long video. It goes from the very, very beginning, so choosing your domain name right the way through, and it's really step by step, because it's aimed at complete beginners, so people who've never had a website before or never used WordPress before, and it covers pretty much everything you need to get a simple shop up and running from scratch. But yes, step by step. It's a good idea to watch it, pause it, do it, watch it, pause it, do it.
And even if you've already got a WordPress website and you're a bit rusty on it, you cover a lot of stuff in more, the stuff that we've talked about today, you cover that in more detail, don't you, with demonstrating how to do it on screen. So if you are a bit rusty and you've neglected your website, you could pick a lot of tips, and it could be the kick up the behind that you need to sort of pay a little TLC to your website.
Yeah, we go through everything on there, so and it could give you some really great ideas of how you can reorganize something on there, or what pages you do need to add now, or how to get things looking right, or how to organize your shop, or things that they might have changed while you've been away, which does happen. So and if you want a different theme as well, because on WordPress you can just switch themes and switch up how it looks, then it's a great way to sort of get some new life into it and rebrand.
Is it easy enough to switch themes to an existing website then?
Yeah. Yes, it's literally activate a new theme, but and then it will theme everything throughout, but then you'd want to make it your own. So yes, you can very, very easily, and it doesn't get rid of any of your products or your menus or anything like that. It will just, it's like applying a new paint job. I want the paint job to be like this. But what you will find is if it's a very different setup, very different theme, look, you might have to juggle things around when you get there. But no, you don't have to start again. You just click a button.
So I'm saying I saw 123 Reg do a WordPress package. Would you recommend something like that? Suppose the theme and things, doesn't it, and whether it's specifically helpful for e-commerce.
The great thing about WordPress is it's really flexible, so you get to do things the way you need it for your shop, not the way somebody else thinks you need it or they need it for their shop. And it's easy enough to set up your own. I don't know about what 123 Reg, who I don't like. Their support's not great. So I'm not a fan. But hosting, domain, email, it's so easy to set up your own that what they can do is put charges on to maintain your website when actually you don't need that. So it can be good. I mean, it really depends what you need, depends what they're giving you. But it is easy to set up your own hosting, your own domain name, your own email, and then you've got control of it as well. So you can move elsewhere if you need to. If things aren't being fast enough, if their support's not good, if you want to expand, it's flexible. So don't sign up for something in which you don't have the control, because that's the beauty of WordPress, having the control.
Someone's planning to move the website from OpenCart because of security issues and move it to WordPress. Do you think the security will be better?
Again, you're in control of your security. So I do cover setting up a security plugin, and hosting will always have security options on there as well. And it's constantly moving with WordPress, it's constantly updating. So they're constantly bringing out new ways to combat security issues. So keeping your website up to date when you get it on WordPress is, paramount. A lot of the hosts will update WordPress automatically for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And then updating your plugins, which you won't have very many complicated ones on there anyway, and just keeping it up to date. And then it's a really secure website. And I also go through setting up SSL, which is when you get a little padlock at the top of your browser saying it's a secure website. So we go through all of that on the class, and that again, that's really easy to do, and you can do it for free with your hosting. Let's Encrypt on your hosting. It's a free SSL certificate. So you can do your security, and then you know where you are with it. And also there are plugins for everything on WordPress. If you can think of it, there will be a plugin for it.
Right.
There's a plugin. If you want to do list building, there's loads of plugins. So yeah, just make sure it is secure with your SSL. Your hosting will help you with security. You can add things to that. Add a security plugin, and they will take you through the setup for that. And it's constantly updated, so make sure it's always updated.
Yeah. Sarah's saying she's got a Wix site and it'll cost me £133 extra to add a store. So I'm thinking of just putting an order form on so people can click and collect. So I think she's open at the moment, and doing sort of either one in, one out the shop, or doing deliveries. So I suppose if she hasn't got time to set up a store at the moment, that would be the best thing to do, isn't it? Is to put some sort of order form on. Yeah. And then when things calm down a bit, then look at adding a store so that you can kind of get up and running.
Just do it the easiest way you can.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all out. It has to be perfect. I have to have a store to sell something online. People just need to have an easy way to buy from you. And if that's an order form for click and collect, absolutely fine. A number of stores around here have done the same. Oh, Wine Shop is one of them. So they don't have it's a really good wine shop. They don't have an online shop yet. I don't know whether they're going to. They just have an order form, which they've been talking about on social media. They're doing quite well. We've seen a number of people queuing outside 2 meters apart to collect. But yeah, all they've got is an online order form. Just it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure that people know you're doing it, and do it the easiest way.
And maybe change it so that it's either your landing page or it's a specific page on there or on your FAQs or something that stood out really well so that people can find it straight away. And how
if you don't even have a website, and some people don't, then put it on your Facebook page or link to it from there, or you can there are some great list building platforms where you can have a sign up form and they can leave a message as well, or different ways of doing it. You don't have to go all out, and you can just get people ordering through Facebook's great.
Path of least resistance, I think it is, isn't it, at the moment? If you are trading, and I'd recommend you do that as your priority, and go back to doing a full-on online shop later on. But for now, just go for the easiest and simplest thing, because that's what people respond to, isn't it?
Yeah. And if they see you actively talking about it in the meantime, then you're keeping that momentum going. They're keeping in mind, and people are Well, either people are really, really busy because they've got homeschooling and businesses and they're working from home all at the same time, or they're really bored. So it's like one or the other. So people are looking, and they're looking for delivery, and they're looking to have those little treats sent to them. And we had the postman arrive today. It was the most exciting thing that's happened to us in a week. It's like, yay, we've got.
If you get like a little package of something that you've ordered from Etsy or from somebody's website or through Facebook, you're like, oh my gosh, it's come. Yeah. You're wanting those little.
We've got a lovely cafe just down the road, and they're doing orders for their gorgeous food, and you can have a treat box. We can have a gluten-free treat box, and they've done some lovely pictures. And as far as I know, they're just selling them through Facebook. But they've already got people coming like, oh, it was lovely, and I've got my cake and my coffee. It's a new way we're doing it. They didn't have much to set up. They've just carried on just through a different channel, just telling people about it on Facebook. So
I would try and sort of direct people down one route rather than having them email you, message you on Facebook, text message you, because you've got so many different things to check then. So if you're on Facebook all the time, I would say, direct them onto Facebook Messenger, or comment on the post or whatever, rather than have lots of different means of them contacting you, because it's just then loads of different things to check, isn't it? You could miss something.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because there are so many ways in at the moment.
Well, that's it, and there's WhatsApp and different, Instagram DMs and stuff. So you don't, want to have to check 5 or 6 different platforms to see if you've got any inquiry. So,
and also think how that conversation goes. So if it's a simple order something, you send it, then yes, you could do that through Facebook Messenger or whatever. But if it's the kind of to and fro, I need to set up something up with them, or I need to ask them questions, then just have a think about what the easiest way to have that conversation actually is. My husband's an osteopath, and he gets a lot of inquiries through WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. It drives him insane, because he's then got to organise when they're going to have their appointments, and so they end up playing ping pong. He's like, why don't they phone you? So sometimes the telephone is the best way to point them to that way. So it really depends on how you work, what you need to know before sending things out.
So just to finish off then, tell us the price and how anyone can get onto. I'll post the link, but about your course, because it's a bargain. When you told me how much it was,
I actually fell off a chair. So what? It's well, I re-recorded it when all this started, and I thought I just want to really help people get going with the shop. And these classes have always been for people starting, beginners who they haven't had a website or they haven't had a online shop before. So just getting them on there and getting them started. So yes, I released it for £27. So as I said, your only overhead really is the cost and hosting. I suggest SiteGround. It's a bit more expensive than Bluehost, but you can still get it for, I think they've got a deal on at the moment, so it's about £70 a year. Or you can pay monthly, in which case it's not very much at all. But I like them because of their support, and I think they're really good. But it's
you need to have the hosting for. Do you need to get your hosting sorted and your domain name before you start building your website?
Well, you do, but that does start with that on the class. So I take them through having nothing to buying and hosting, and how to choose a host and getting a domain. So I cover all that. So yes, don't worry if you haven't got anything in place, or if you've already bought a domain name, don't worry. It comes with a Facebook group. So if you get really stuck, or if you have a question, you can just go question and ask in there. And I'm doing the £27 for another 2 weeks, and then it's going up to 47, which is what it was before. So
okay, fab. Brilliant. So I'll you sent me the link, so I'll post the link on in the group. And are you? I think you're in the group, aren't you? So if anyone's watching on replay, they can ask you a question.
I'm not sure. I can join. I can't remember whether I did it or not. Wait a minute. Let's have a look. No, I've requested. I have to fill out a form. I'll fill out a form. I'm sure. Will you let me in? But yeah, if you've got any questions, just post them below. I
know a lot of people who are dealing with homeschooling and stuff will watch this later on tonight, and you know, the replay will be in the group anyway. So yeah, sometimes people go, oh gosh, I had a question, and so it's great if you can look out for any. And I'll pop the link in for signing up to your course, and hopefully if anyone was panicking and thinking it's an impossible task, it's going to cost me thousands, then we've encouraged them to give it a go. And you know, even if you just start off with, you know, a dozen products, you don't have to load your whole shop full. You can put, you know, I would suggest starting with products that you've either got a lot of, or the kind of core products, so they're not going to go out of fashion, or they're not highly seasonal or anything. So, you know, start off with the stuff that, you know, you can sell in a month, 2 months, 3 months time, or you've got, you know, a considerable amount of stock on your shelves, and then get into the habit of loading new products on and slowly building it up. But say you can go live with half a dozen products, can't you, really? It doesn't, you don't have to have absolutely loads on.
It doesn't have to be finished, and in fact a website's never finished, because it's always evolving. You're always adding to it, and that's the way it should be. So yeah, we don't go for perfect, we go for done and sell it.
Perfect.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, if you've got any questions at all, then pop them in the group and I will come back to you. If you want to find me, I'm the Business Beautician, and that's my page. So I've always got tips on websites and branding on there. So yeah, you can pop over there too. But yeah, it's brilliant talking to you.
Thank you so much, and I'll leave you to go and deal with Lego and whatever else you've got on today.
Yes, today's homework is building a rocket. No, and it's fractions again this afternoon.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Right, I hope you found that really useful.
It's been brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much, Catherine, and I will see you all soon. Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye.